Modern marketing is all about being data-driven, revenue-focused, and tech-savvy as hell. Every campaign, every touch point, every decision we make should be backed by tools, dashboards, and platforms. The tech-led, data-driven age of marketing is here to stay, and it's not going anywhere fast. But let's be honest, it can be pretty overwhelming, and marketers can feel like they spend all their time noodling around with tools and not enough creatively strategizing. But the reality is more data should equal more creativity, and data can tell a very accurate story of what your customers want and what they need. But here's the catch, it can be really tough to get used to these tools and implement them correctly when you're constantly trying to learn them. And if you're anything like me, your tech stack is growing fast. And at first it felt great, didn't it? More tools meant better automation, more options at your disposal. But now it's starting to feel like a Jenga tower where one more block added to it is going to lead to complete collapse. But how do you know if you're dealing with a monstrous Frankenstack? How do you know if your tech stack is bloated? Well, let's go through some of the common symptoms. You've got 3 tools doing the same thing, like 3 different data analytics platforms. You're paying for software that your team hasn't touched in months. Your data is fragmented because your tools don't talk to each other. Running a simple campaign feels like jumping between 10 different logins. This sounds like you? Well, you've got serious GTM bloat. Too much tech, not enough implementation. And you've got a tech stack that finance would surely love to cut. So how do you fix it without hitting the panic button? Well, let's go through some practical steps. Firstly, audit your tech stack. You'll be shocked at what you've got there that isn't even doing anything, just sitting there collecting dust. Step 2, find the redundancies. If 2 different tech stacks are doing exactly the same thing, it's time to get rid of one. Step 3, integrate rather than replace. Sometimes the problem isn't the tools themselves, but rather that the tools aren't talking to each other. So find ways to integrate them before you throw away one of them. Finally, and I'm sure you'll understand this if you're like me and you've got a million different streaming services that you never watch, do a subscription audit. I guarantee you'll be spending money, wasting money on many different platforms that you never ever use or you don't use enough to justify.